Welcome, guys, back to the episode. And today we will be discussing Vanderpump rules. And I don't know, like we're about to the ending of the season, and I am still not feeling, especially Lala, her energy, her vibe that she's giving off in the season. And even in currently what's happening with her and on her podcast and especially in interviews that she's doing, it just seems like she is just very laser focused on Ariana. And I don't know if it's a situation where she felt like when it was her in the situation, she never got that many opportunities or she felt left out. But it just seems to me that she's trying really hard to just be a bitch. Like that's what I'm getting from it. I'm not getting any sort of compassion, nothing. It's just like weird to me. We started the episode where it continued from the beach day, and we also have where Ariana says that Sandoval is literally doing everything to make her seem like the bad person because she's saying that when they are around each other, he keeps making side comments to either that she's not paying her the bills or she doesn't clean the house or something. And no one really is defending her. It's just that they're expecting her to be silent and be okay with him doing what he's supposed to do because in their head she should get over it because she's still living in the same house, so she should be over it. But life doesn't work that way. We saw where Sandoval, of course, brings up again that he pays for most of the stuff in the house. Every episode for the season, he has to mention how many times he has paid for this. He bought batteries, he has taken out the trash, he has cleaned the kitchen. It's always something. Sheena then decides that she is setting up Tori, her babysitter, up on Schwartz. And then also when Katie found out, Katie basically started to show an interest in Tori as well. We saw when they left the beach and they went up to, I guess, a bar. And we saw where we had Sandoval and Schwartz talking to some girls. And then Tori decided to come over. And then that's when we had Katie who decided to crash that conversation. And they both were basically speaking. And Sandoval, Schwartz basically says that he doesn't know if Katie is just doing this or she's just trying to be a cop blocker at this point. We saw the scene where, again, this is why I said Lala is just so confusing. And to me, I just deemed it as fake friends. Lala then decides to ask Ariana if she feels there is unresolved feelings regarding Sandoval. We then had Ariana breaking down that about the demise of the relationship. She was really looking for him to be like the end game. They bought the house together. It was supposed to be something, hopefully, that they can start a family together. And obviously, it did not work out. And that's where we saw Sheena and Lala comforting Ariana. And I don't know what to take from this situation. I don't know what goes through Lala's head. Because in one moment, you're bashing her, you're talking bad about her in interview sessions. And then in the next moment, you are literally consoling her, acting as if like you were her ride or die and you have her back. It's just literally confusing at this point. I don't know what is going through her head. Katie and Tori decided to make out, and everybody was cheering them on. And yeah. The next scene we had Joe and Lala meet up, which again, why I said this shit is just confusing. They met up for, I guess, Schwartz's side because Schwartz and Lala are becoming close as friends. I guess he decided because Joe feels outside of the group, so he says that, okay, I'm going to have you meet with Lala because maybe she will be the ticket in for her in the group, which I don't think that will be the case because Katie and Ariana does not like Joe, and I'm assuming Sheena as well does not like Joe, but because Sheena is now blowing wherever the wind goes, I don't know if that's the same thing she has, the same feeling she has as well. Ariana then says she did put in, Joe then says she didn't know that Sandoval and Rachel were together, which again, I don't believe. I think you're trying to say this because you know this is the reason why Katie and Ariana does not fuck with you. So you're trying to make basic, or Sheena as well, You're basically trying to say this, thinking that if I say I didn't know, then maybe they will accept me into the group. So I don't believe it. I don't think what she thought would have come from her saying stuff like that, but it just does not make sense. We got the next scene where we had Katie, Ariana, James, and Ali. They went golfing. And at this scene, I thought it would have been where Ariana's current boyfriend would be in, but I don't know at what point in the season are we going to get him in the scene, because we saw him in the trailer when they were asking him about Sandoval. So I'm wondering at what point in the season, is it the ending, literally the end? Are we going to actually have a scene with Ariana and this guy? Katie then just says that she isn't just talking to Tori due to Schwartz, because she was saying that she also told Ariana or so before that she actually liked Tori. I've never known Katie to be someone who is attracted to girls, so this is kind of new for me. But if that works for her, then so be it. Ariana then says she is also waiting to see if Sandoval will counter her offer that she put in regarding the house, because she also bought furniture in the place, and she's not just going to just get up and go into an apartment where she literally has to buy new furniture. And Sandoval basically gets to keep all the furniture plus the house. So that is the back and forth that they're basically going through right now regarding the furniture. The next scene we had Lala and Sheena. They head to a sperm bank, and I think this is where we get to see a little bit of personal story finally from Lala regarding her journey in wanting to have another child. We know currently now she is pregnant, and it shows a little, a good information for persons who also may be going through the same journey, that they can actually reach out and get information regarding sperm donors. So, we had her there. Sheena then decides within the scene, she says that she is treading lightly with Ariana because it's really confusing to her as to why Ariana is still living in the same house with Sandoval. So now all of a sudden, this is so confusing to y'all. Like, you don't get it. It's not for you to get. It's not your life. You're not in the moment. So why is it that such a bother for you to understand why she's still living in the same house, or why is it so much an issue, basically? Sheena, the next scene we got Schwartz going to the hairdresser. I guess that's where Joe works, and he decided to bleach his hair. We all saw the pictures before, so we got the build up basically, or the process for him deciding to go ahead and actually bleach his hair. He then tells Joe in the scene that he went on a date the night before. She seems a bit like shook. And then I think also that's where she also told him that they're doing some single party, LA party, and Joe decided to invite herself, because at this point Joe still has feelings, or has feelings for Schwartz. So she's trying to be like a wing person, but I think she really wanted to go to just to watch or cop block him basically, so he is not messing with anybody. The next scene we had Katie and Tori. They were on a date night at, I think it was Katie's house. They were doing some painting shit, and that was pretty much the scene. The following scene we got where we saw girls' night out, and it was Ariana, Sheena, Lala, and Katie. And this is where Lala decided to tell the rest of the girls that she met up with Joe. And to Katie's surprise, she's kind of a bit shook as to why would you meet up with her? Like, it does not make sense. And I think in Katie's brain, it's like you're doing one thing with Sandoval and you're seeing all of this. No, it is that there's another foe of the group or enemy of the group, and now you're doing meetups with them. Like, it's starting to question her motive, as in Lala's motive, or where is her angle at right now, because stuff that she was so against and would not do, and she would want the same respect if it was she in the situation, you're literally doing the opposite and thinking that because you trying to be soft. And I don't know how is it you're trying to be soft, Lala. In one moment you're pointing fingers, telling people to disengage, and then you're moving away where you're involving yourself in the drama, and at the same time you're saying that you're basically being, this is your soft era basically. Like, It's literally confusing at this point. They get into this back and forth where Lala just says that it's not her job to make sense to Katie. And I'm trying to say, wasn't it episodes before you guys had a lunch and decided to treat each other with kindness or be soft to each other and working on mending the friendship? So I don't see why in one scene you're not going to say that it's not your job to make sense to Katie. Like, I don't see the effort. I don't see where is it that you're trying to mend a friendship or work on a friendship if you are in the same moment saying that you don't need to make sense to your friend. Like, your friend is questioning your motives, trying to see what is in your headspace, like what is going on, because you're kind of moving sideways. And in your head, you're saying that it's not my job for you to know or for you to understand why is it I'm moving certain ways. Like, it's just, yeah. We get the singles LA party. We saw where Joe and Schwartz arrived, and this is where he debuted his blonde hair. And we had Joe constantly fixing Schwartz hair like a mother trying to fix their child's hair. And it became so annoying. I've been watching the scene and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the scene for 5 minutes and she keeps in his hair, keeps doing something. And I'm like, that must be completely annoying. And at the same time, for persons within the party, if it's a singles party, will not probably think he's single because why is this girl in his hair consistently? Everybody started around, especially like Sandoval and other persons. They were like confused as to how Joe is moving, basically. We saw where Schwartz was now talking to her girl, and I think they were flirting basically. And then Joe spotted it, and then she decides she feels jealous really, and then she decides to head out because she's literally, like she's saying that she and Schwartz basically they still hook up and they say they love each other, but yet you're in front of my face doing this. And she thought the whole night was really about Sandoval. I did not get that. Maybe I have to rewatch that scene, but I did not get this scene when he spoke about it. It was solely about Sandoval. And if you guys aren't together, I don't see why is it that you expected him to be there and just be a wingman towards Sandoval. Because again, Joe, you were the one who invited yourself to the party. He did not invite you for where you say, okay, why you invited me and then you're doing stuff like this. You invited yourself. So again, miscommunication, but we saw where Joe head out and, she threw her tantrum as she normally does. And then she decided to head out. We got the paintball events. Nothing grand really happened. They played paintball. Lala, Sheena, Ali decided not to play, so they were sitting on the sidelines, of course, discussing Ariana because they have nothing else to discuss. So, or really discussing what happened the night with the girls' night out with Katie. So, yeah, that was pretty much the scene. And then we got the final scene of the episode where we saw where Schwartz went over to Joe's house, Joe's apartment, because, of course, he is confused again from the night before when she head out, and I guess he wants to set the story clear as to what happened and to understand it basically. And this is where we saw where Joe was saying that she, I guess they were calling it off, but at the same time she was quite a bit upset because she probably thought that there was something there something more can happen. And the fact that it's done on camera, and the fact that I guess, as she said, they still hook up. So she was literally not having it. And that is where we saw where she said that she doesn't want to date other people, but at the same time, I guess you don't want to date other people, but you don't want other person who you're messing around with to be dating other people. So, and then she also said that she says deep down she may have feelings for Schwartz. And this is where we got where then she decided again, typical Joe, to storm out of the scene instead of having a conversation. And then she decided to storm out. And that was the end of the episode. For me, I'll rate this episode a 7.5 out of 10. Nothing really drastic happened. The highlights of the episode for me were, I guess, the Katie and Lala blow up the continuation from the beach scene, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I didn't see anything more from the episode. I am still. Andy says that the last 7 episodes were good, but I am think we're in the last 7 episodes, and I'm not necessarily seeing what is this good thing or what is this highlight. But I'm gonna keep watching to see where it ends, and of course, the reunion was already filmed, so we'll see what the reunion will bring. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, what were your thoughts on the episode. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next week as we'll recap Vanderpump Rules. Bye.